Now, last year, 22-year-old Eleanor Williams was jailed for 8.5 years after falsely claiming she'd been raped by multiple men and trafficked by an Asian grooming gang. Her lies caused an outpouring of anger and several protests in the town of Barrow in Cumbria. And now a BBC documentary reveals the extent of her deceit. Our investigative reporter Anna Collinson has the story and a warning that you may find some of the details in this report upsetting.
I guess you can probably guess what's going to happen. If you just listen to
This is the moment Eleanor Williams was arrested in 2020.
To being in breach of your court bail in relation to charges of perverting the course of justice.
A court would later find that she had repeatedly lied about being raped, which legal experts stress rarely happens.
Right, so the lists are on now and we're recording. So
Exclusive police footage shows Williams' deception began 3 years earlier when she said she'd been raped at a party. She withdrew her involvement, but a year and a half later, she makes a fresh allegation.
So I was trying to push him out the door. Couldn't. He had a knife, he was waving it around.
Notice her bruised cheek, which a judge later decides is self-inflicted. Just weeks after this, she claims she's being trafficked and raped by a gang of Asian men.
Whichever man was willing to pay the most money, you go with. They tell us they can treat us how we want because they're white trash.
It was, we need to do something to help this girl. What is going on?
She describes the properties she was forced to go to in great detail.
It wasn't like a house, it was more like a roller shop. Orangey colour walls.
The police treated Williams like a victim, but suspicions began to arise after they spent 2 days driving her around a town she said she'd been recently trafficked to and was unable to provide any leads.
Was it on that route that you took us on, or was it somewhere else?
I don't know.
Not sure.
And what it ended up being was me driving around fairly aimlessly, just in the hope that something might look familiar to Ellie. That's when I first started wondering myself personally, is there any truth in this?
The following week, her lies unravel further when police are called to her home.
You alright?
Injured and seemingly intoxicated, she makes more claims of being trafficked. An investigation takes place, and this is the innocent young man she accuses. CCTV from that night shows the pair met by chance in Preston when he asks her for a lighter. It's Williams who pursues a conversation. She's then seen on camera in Barrow and Furness walking home with no visible injuries. But when police arrive at her flat 20 minutes later, this is what they find.
I'll help you. I'll help you. Shall we get you an ambulance?
In court, a judge ruled these injuries were self-inflicted and that she was play acting.
Weed. Okay. Space.
He also found there was no evidence that she was mentally unwell.
Every single allegation she made, we still investigated because there might have been some truth in some of this. And it was really important that if there was, we found it.
All of this footage, which has never been seen outside the legal system until today, tells the story of multiple desperate reports, the final one being where Williams was found wounded in a field. Tests would show her injuries were self-inflicted.
I can clearly see on this is an evolution. You've got an awful allegation in 2017, a much worse allegation in 2019, and then weeks later, boom, it properly snowballs into a massive, multi-handed, organised crime group.
Cumbria police say this is a totally unique case and want to reassure genuine victims that they will be supported. Williams' lies about an Asian grooming gang led to a spike in hate crime in Barrow and damaged the mental health of the men she wrongly accused. And yet, we may never know. Why did she lie? Anna Collinson, BBC News.